recording now, so I've got Arthur on the line. Quite an interesting story, an interesting brand. So if you could just let me know, Arthur, how you first originally got involved in e-commerce, and if it was dropshipping to begin with.
I was working a full-time job, and it was pretty depressing. Pretty much the usual entrepreneurship journey. I started my first brand after seeing.
Sorry, ignore that. I was just trying to get the cameras focused.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just started the brand after seeing a trend going on the Facebook group. Designed the product, launched it, and slowly grew it. I didn't see explosive growth until around 2 years ago, when I designed a complete custom product that's never been seen on the market, and then just took off from there.
Cool.
And how I discovered you, I was using a shipping agent from China. They were charging me a lot of money, even though I constantly asked them, hey, like, can you just work out a better pricing for me?
Sure. Sorry to stop you there. We'll get to that. Let's just to kind of help anyone viewing this to better understand your journey. So originally, was it a course that got you into e-commerce, or was it self-learning?
Just self-learning, pretty much. YouTubing and everything. Okay. Yeah.
So before that, you didn't have any kind of marketing, sales, e-commerce experience at all?
No, zero experience.
Okay, cool. And so when you first started, how long did it take you from when you first started researching to actually testing out products and launching the store?
Probably like 2 years of just kind of like researching and not having the confidence to take the plunge. But eventually I just bit the bullet and then just started.
Wow, so a long time.
Yeah.
You must have done a lot of research.
Yeah, a lot. Just trying to find the magic unicorn, I guess.
So what year did you actually pull the trigger?
I think it's around 2019.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So just before COVID.
Yeah, just before COVID.
And was your first venture a success, or did you test a few different products and stuff?
Yes, this was my first venture that succeeded. During the time of running the brand, I did try a few dropshipping stores, but they never succeeded.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first time lucky, basically. And
yeah.
And this was because you, correct me if I'm wrong, you saw a trend of this particular niche or product that you thought, wow, the results look good. Let me give it a go.
Yeah. That's how it came about.
Okay. And those results that you saw, I take it they were from other dropshippers selling similar products, or was it?
No, it's actually a well-established brand selling that niche style product. And then I just thought I can take that idea and then create my own products and try sell it and jump on the trend.
Sounds good. And I think you were, so before you came over to us, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understood was that you was using, is it an Alibaba supplier?
Yes, supply found on Alibaba.
Yeah, so you contacted them because they had the products you had in mind, or the ones that seemed to be performing with this trend. And I take it, was it because they had a large range of those products, or they were cheap? Why did you go to that particular supplier?
My first product was an air freshener, so I pretty much just looked through whatever air freshener supply I can find from Alibaba, and then just message them and ask them, hey, can you custom make a scent and design according to my specifications? And then just a bit of back and forth to get the samples, and then finding the right supplier that can make it to my specifications.
Okay, so you approach this really differently compared to like the average dropshipping test. So you actually went down the route of communicating lots of different suppliers and actually manufacturing your own branded item before you tested the product itself. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that's quite ballsy, a big risk, but it paid off, obviously. And from there onwards, did you use that same supplier to do all of the other product lines, or use a different supplier?
I only stick with them while the product was doing well, but eventually there was too much issues with the scent and everything, so I discontinued the product. For other products, I just usually do the same approach, look through Alibaba, send them custom designs and ask them to make a sample and go from there.
Cool. And is this the same? I mean, I don't know if we can mention the niche because it's not yours anymore, but I don't know if you've signed any disclosure agreements and stuff. But is it this in the same niche that I think it is?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh, okay. Cool. So
yeah, I don't think they'll let me talk about it. Yeah.
No worries.
Yeah.
So it's from the air freshener until the very last product that you sold was all in the same niche.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah. So it was. I remember when you first came on board, it was because as a product, I love it myself. I drink a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have known the physical products like merchandise and stuff like that. It would be a thing. And, some of the numbers you were doing were ridiculous. I think at your peak, you done over 1,000 orders a day. And I just didn't think there was a market for it. But yeah, if you could talk us through quickly at what point you transitioned to us and why. Oh, sorry. Before you do that.
Yep.
So you was using this supplier.
Yep.
Alibaba supplier to literally ship your orders directly.
No, it's a shipping agent.
Oh, okay.
Yep, Chinese shipping agents. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was doing a decent amount of numbers before I started working with the team. The amount of shipping they're charging me was kind of ridiculous. I was constantly asking them, hey, like this doesn't make sense. And then they continue to lie to me. So I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. I need to find someone more reliable and like more honest and more willing to build a long-term relationship. So I onboarded with your team, and then everything was smooth. I was doing like every day, the orders was like increasing a lot, and your team was able to handle all of it. So yeah.
So how long was you using them for before you switched to us?
Probably nearly 2 years.
Oh wow! So you
yes. So it was really disappointing that I've been working with them so long, and then they weren't willing to compromise.
So did they start off well? Was it going well for the first, I don't know, few months to a year? Or
I wouldn't know back then because he's the only person I've ever worked with. So I just assumed that this is the norm.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. And so I mean, after all this, the whole 2-year period, they weren't really accommodating. They didn't drop pricing or increase processing time or shipping time or anything. It was literally from start to finish, pretty much the same.
Yeah, but they're always pretty good with communication and did everything within the hour. But it's just the pricing was too ridiculous.
Sure. And with I can't remember if you mentioned, did you have any issues with volume? I mean, when you were with them, what was your peak orders?
It was definitely nowhere near 1,000 orders.
Okay.
But it was decent, probably like 100-ish.
Sure.
A day. So it was. Okay. They're doing fine.
Good. And then when you moved over to us, I think you had the brand for another good year or so.
Yep.
And then you decided to exit, I believe.
Yep.
So at what point, again, this is educational and it will kind of help those viewing this to make similar decisions, because there's probably going to be people who are kind of deciding whether they want to exit now or not. Looking back, would you have done anything differently with that exit, or would you have extended it or sold earlier? What would you do looking back?
I would definitely have prepared it to be exited earlier. I would not have worked with the brokers I worked with because I pretty much had to do the hard work and kind of negotiate with the client. They didn't try to get the best price for me. So if I had to go back, I'll work with a different broker, that's for sure. Okay.
So just to summarize, it will be exiting at close to peak and using a decent broker.
Yes, correct.
Okay. And so I take it you didn't get what you were expecting to
yeah, nowhere near as much as I was expecting.
So and with this brand, was it purely paid ads throughout the whole life cycle of the store?
Yep.
And was it just Facebook ads or a number of different platforms?
Just Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
It's amazing, really, because for you to have been so successful first time around and taking the risk of manufacturing your own stock. And I mean, it's basically like a blueprint. You know, you aside from the Facebook ads and the paid ads, you've had a really good run. So, you know, first go, you managed to find your own supplier, you found your own fulfillment company, you scaled it aggressively, you didn't have any issues, I guess, with your ad platforms and stuff like that. And then you managed to do all of that and sell it okay, albeit not at its peak, but you still managed to sell it. So overall, it sounds like you done really well. So congratulations there. But
thank you.
What's your, I mean, now obviously you're much more experienced since when you first started. But so that obviously I know kind of what position you are in at the moment, but for the viewers watching this, what's your current position? What are you, have you got another store? Are you trying new products? Are you doing the same kind of thing, or are you now going to the kind of typical strategy of testing products without taking the risk of manufacturing?
I'm taking more of a like dropship method, where I can customize it, I will, but just to test out the market first, I generally just try to find an existing product and go from there. And I'm been constantly testing new brands every few months. So yeah.
Okay, so at this point in time, you're literally just testing new products, and then if you do find success, that's when you go to the next step of manufacturing. So at what point would you validate? So okay, if you found a product that was working, a great campaign, at what point would you then decide to take the risk and say, okay, I'm going to buy thousands of inventory and manufacture my own products? Would you base it on the sales volume, consistency, or would you look at everything as a whole?
I think I'll look at everything as a whole, kind of get the customer feedback. If a lot of customers were saying they were unhappy about a specific aspect, then I would try to address this. But if the product as is doing really well, I wouldn't be pushing so hard to customize it.
Sure. So to generalize time-wise, what would you say would be like a kind of sweet spot for you to decide to brand it?
Within probably 2 weeks,
okay.
I can consistently generate sales profitably, and I can see that there's potential for me to invest more.
Cool.
Then yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Thanks for asking all of the questions, Arthur. Pretty much covers it. I'm sure that's quite a lot of information that our viewers can digest. Do you have any questions at all? Whether it's related to this or not, even if you want to pick my brains again since our last call, feel free to do so. Or if you wanted to schedule it for another call, that's fine as well. I think you are on time, aren't you?
Yeah. No, I don't have any questions off the top of my head.
Cool.
But yeah, it's been really good working with your team, and everything has been very smooth. And yeah.
Cool. Thanks again for your time scheduling this call. And yeah, as you know, you can contact me anytime in our private Discord server, or you can schedule a call at any time to have like a kind of strategy or bounce ideas off each other whenever you like. So yeah, enjoy. I think it's still afternoon your time, isn't it?
Yeah, just 3 o'clock.
Okay, I'll let you go, Arthur, and take care. We'll speak soon.
Okay, thanks, Phil. Take care.